Hello and welcome to today's Bold Trail Academy. We are continuing our series on what I call Bold Trail Mastery. And so a couple of things bookkeeping wise to clear up before we get into today's material. Um, my videos have been taken down by YouTube. I have. So if you look, the first 2 weeks videos were taken down on YouTube. And so what I did was I uploaded them exclusively to my school platform. And so if to view those videos, you have to go to school because I don't have the YouTube link. So the reason they were moderated is because YouTube saw that I was sharing email addresses and phone numbers, and that's not allowed. So fair enough. But I do have them on my school platform. So if you're not a member, I'll put the member link in the chat, and you can join uh, the school platform. So let me just throw that in the chat.
You weren't technically breaking any rules because it was the demos, but I see their point.
Yeah, I totally see the point. Fair assessment. But yeah, so I'm putting the videos, the recordings in the classroom here. And what this series is doing is it's building on the work Steve and I have done this year. And so we started out with 12 weeks of lead generation. And we focused on specific tools within the platform that you can use to lead generate. We went into the upgrades. We did the Bold Trail open house. I was at Aaron Rawls Wednesday and talked about the Bold Trail open house. And I think many of those agents are on this call today. I'm going to connect with Aaron and do a specific open house series with him because he does things a little bit different. And I'd like to include that in what we're doing. We went into this AI. We did 6 weeks of AI, and it was just what I call fundamental, foundational AI prompts that I think every agent should go out there and do to learn about your business, learn about who you are as an agent, and then how to get your messaging out. And now we're going into the mastery. And what we're doing with mastery is we're focused on lead conversion. It's great to have leads come in, but if you look at the statistics, they're pretty alarming. Most leads in general right now are taking 12 to 18 months to close, but 80% of the leads that are originated, we give up on in the first 6 weeks. So we need to change that. And so that's what we're looking at today, is changing that around. So we're jumping into the platform. We're looking at these different aspects. And one thing I want to note is that this thing changed on me. I am on Facebook. I post my notice of meetings here. Steve has a new post that just came up. Good job, Steve. But I post my notice of meetings here. I don't post content here, but I'm just trying to remind people that I'm out there and that I have these meetings. And so when I post the meeting here, I push it out. So you want to join that. When we're talking about the tools within the platform, this is my YouTube channel. And every single week I put out a video. When I get done here today, I'm going to go home and I'm going to do my weekly video, and it is a market update. I'm not lighting it up with huge views here, but I'm posting this video on multiple platforms. I have it on YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, X. It's going out all over. So I don't know what the total view count is, but the point I want to make is that I'm doing it. And when I post these videos, yep. So it's just a market update. And within this, down in the description, I'm putting all of these links that go directly back to my EXP website.
I'll actually brag a little on Alex. He got his first listing lead from YouTube the other day, which is really pretty exciting.
Yeah, I had an inbound listing lead. The woman's been watching my videos. She called me up. I knew no idea who she was, but she knew who I was. And we had a detailed conversation, went out to the listing appointment, and we're working on that listing. So it's the commitment of doing it, guys, that you really have to consider. Obviously, this is the Levi Lassick play. So I created Living in Placer County. And every week I put out a video. I can always do this stuff better. I feel like I need to take my video game to the next level, but I'm committed to doing it once a week. So let's jump into what we're covering today. I'll start from my dashboard. Oh, how about that? It just logged me out. Um, and what I'm going to cover today is the squeeze pages and how can we use squeeze pages to convert. So let me get back into my platform here. How many of us have gotten phone calls, maybe sign calls, whatever they are, where you're having a conversation with somebody and they don't really want to give you their name? You know, you don't have a first and last name, you don't have an email address. They're calling in and they're apprehensive about, hey, I don't want to give you all my information because for various reasons. What are some of the reasons, Steve, someone wouldn't want to give us all their information?
I think everybody's just really leery because there's so much information online,
Yeah,
and most people are going to find some hesitation to give out personal information on an information site where they've just dropped in to want to learn something. They don't want to provide
yeah,
phone numbers, emails, because it represents being recommunicated with, and they're just leery.
yeah. So I want to show you today how we can take that warm lead, partial lead, and how we can use the lead engine squeeze pages to convert that. It's a tool that I use. I used it a couple times this week. So I made the lead engine right here, and I'll go back just because people get confused sometimes. I go from my dashboard to my lead engine, and then down in the lead engine, I'm going to look at squeeze pages. Now, for those of you that aren't in the know, our website through Bull Trail is IDX compatible. So what that means is that you get a direct feed from the MLS. So any listing that's on the MLS is fed into our website. And what Bull Trail does is creates a custom website for every single listing in the MLS. And so I want to get in and I will, I'll go over the call that I had. So I had a guy come to me and said, hey, I'm looking for a property in Loomis. So I'm going to type in Loomis, and you see how it spins over here and it brings up these different hits for Loomis. And all of these are being fed in from the IDX feed. So these are all Loomis specific areas fed in from the IDX. And so in this case, I'm going to pick Loomis area because that will take you beyond Loomis and include Penryn, Newcastle, parts of Granite Bay. In this case, he was looking for single family. So I just type in S and it brings up single family. And guys, I use this thing every day, so it's not like I'm new to this thing. This guy was looking for a minimum of 3,000 square feet. And he wanted a minimum of 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. Wasn't concerned about price, okay? So within this, I built the squeeze page for him. And because he hadn't registered with me, I put this default at 5. So what I'm doing is I'm allowing this person to look at 5 properties before they need to register. I'm not pushing this to a social channel, so I didn't put in a source, but if you're putting it on Facebook or Google or whatever it is, you'd put it in there. And then you could also assign a hashtag. But we're not going to pay attention to that. We're going to keep it simple. This is the conversation I had with him, and I generated that link. Generated the link. I want to point out there's 2 links here. This is a direct link. This is a short link that you would want to post to social or maybe even send it in a text message. So I'm going to copy the direct link. We'll grab a new tab and we'll paste it in here and we'll take a look at what we get. This is a real conversation that I had this week, and I did convert this client. And what it came up to is 22 listings in the Loomis area that it found. And we'll just choose one of them. We'll choose this one here. You click into it, and this is what you get.
Why don't you point out to the audience how it keeps everyone on your digital page?
Yes. So great point. And this is probably the real power of this platform is that as you can see, I didn't go and format this page myself. This came out um, generated by the system. Obviously, this is on Lard Road. It's a beautiful house. I've been by it. And it is digitally branded to my footprint. You can see my name and number right there. Up here, alexdyer.com. That's my vanity domain, which I've covered vanity domains. If you want to know more about that, I have videos on it. But it is my vanity domain, and this is the information they're receiving from that squeeze page on all of the 22 properties that are in that squeeze page. Now, in this case, this individual requested a showing. And so you request a showing, filled in the information. Obviously, it comes up with my information because I am in my CRM. And then it's just a simple matter of requesting the showing. I have to put in a date and time. So let's say I want to see it today at 3 o'clock.
Now, this guy contacted you but didn't want to give you his information. So you went
Correct.
ahead and built this squeeze page custom to the conversation you had, and then what did you do with it?
I texted it to him
Ah,
because I had a first name and I had a cell phone number.
okay. And he was holding his cards close because he really didn't want to communicate who he was to you.
Correct.
So you turned around with what you'd gathered in the call, created this really cool squeeze page,
Yeah.
and hey, here's what you were looking for. And then it built trust and it made the connection happen.
That's right. And so I texted it to him. I said, "Hey, based on our conversation, I put together this quick website for you that shows properties that you might be interested in." And I sent it off to him, and I set it to 5 views. And once he hit 5, he came back and he registered. This is a way of taking that soft lead, that warm conversation, showing that you're an absolute expert, adding value, and sending it to that warm lead. And they're in your digital footprint. They're not going outside your digital footprint. You're not sending a third-party listing site link that takes them away from your website and potentially steers them in a different direction. No, you're capturing it right there so that you're the absolute expert, you're digitally branded, and they're able to see the properties. Now, go ahead.
Would you do me a favor? Would you click to your main page of your bold trail to show once someone registers on your site, you can see their activity. So
Yeah,
once you get somebody in your ecosystem, and this is one of the things Carrie Sauvé, our trainer last week said, your goal is to get them off social media and get them into your CRM. You want them in your digital space.
yeah.
Because if you don't get them into your ecosphere, some other agent's going to grab them. But if you'll just expand upon what you're looking at, Alex, if someone registers and then, like, for example, you have Mar there, looked at 2 different listings,
Yep.
you can watch that activity. And then what can you do with it?
All right. So Mar here has came to me as a property boost lead probably 3 years ago. And I've kept in touch with her, and she's still looking at property. But in this space, I can take and I see these 2 properties. I'm going to go with a higher price property. I'll
Okay.
go 319, and I'm going to send her a text message. And it's already pre-formatted because I have the AI smart assistant in play, so it comes up with the messaging, and it has the property link to it, and it says I wanted to follow up, see you if you had any questions, blah blah blah.
Now
And
I have something I want to add to this.
so I just sent that text.
Yeah, that's brilliant. But here's something I've been doing the last 28 days. In fact, it's only about 7 days into my journey, but I'm doing an AI course, realizing, how to communicate and be better equipped with AI. But here's what I asked AI. I asked it about Bold Trail. I asked it about Lofty. a couple of the other CRMs, and I asked it to compare and share with me why this is a tool I should use. And it was impressive. It really came back with Bold Trail being like the premier platform. And here's why it was the premier platform. It said it had more machine learning. It
Mhm.
had a much higher capacity to communicate with the clients and do things while you're out doing something different to nurture that lead. So it's really important what Alex is showing you on creating these squeeze pages, because people that get an opportunity to use your, 3, 4, 5 opportunities to look at properties and then say, I like this experience, and then register, now they're in your ecosystem.
Yeah, so very good point. That what Carrie Save had conveyed to us is that you want to take them off social media. So all this social media that we do, putting videos out, putting posts out there, doing all this stuff, our goal is to gain the permission to be able to communicate with prospective clients, either on the listing side or obviously the buyer side. So you're trying to gain that know, like, and trust to get that permission. And that's really what our main goal is. Going back to the squeeze pages. So I'm back to the squeeze pages here. And just to give you an idea of how often I use this is the history of me creating squeeze pages, and I have 517 that I've created.
Well, let me ask you a question about that. Are these squeeze pages evergreen?
Yes, they are.
So guys, what you're looking at is Alex has literally built a digital footprint of 517 squeeze pages that are out in the
That's
ecosystem,
right.
and people are finding it, and now they're using them, and he's like capturing them into his space. So you don't build one squeeze page, you build them consistently for the things that you're doing, and they just sit out there doing work for you.
That's right. So
Other people see your squeeze page other than the person you built it for?
yeah, yeah. So Tom, I have my squeeze pages on Craigslist. Craigslist. Why am I on Craigslist? Well, I'm out there on Craigslist because it's free to post on Craigslist in most cases. But I have a squeeze page for distressed real estate. I have open houses. I have listed longer than 3 months. I have price reductions. I have all of these different squeeze pages that I've generated. I put them into Craigslist ads. And then every week, actually, I think it's every 10 days, I go and I renew that Craigslist ad. And it's good for 5 to 7 leads a week.
Really?
Yeah. And then once they come into my Bold Trail, you got to filter them. I would say probably 60% are bogus, but that's fine. God love you. But I'll take that 40% that I received and I go and I implement all of the different ways of communicating with them. And then as you can see right now, today, I have 21 follow-ups to do, 21 tasks, and those are all based on activity that's going on in my platform. So when it comes to making phone calls, which is the most important thing that we can do, I'll repeat that. The most important thing we can do as agents is pick up the phone and call our database. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, and I'll expand upon this. That 21 calls, that's because the system and its machine learning is actually evaluating why these are the top people to communicate with. So even though there's 3,000 plus people in his database, these are the ones that the
Right.
machine learning has said are the highest probability they'd like to talk to a real estate agent.
That's right. That's right. And guys, when you really get going with the platform, like I have a couple agents right now, they're brand new to the area, have zero database, and they've been out there hustling, door knocking, doing open houses, doing property boosts. They've been building that permission-based database that they can market to. And Audrey,
She's got 3 deals in escrow right now.
Audrey's got 3 deals in escrow,
That's right.
and she sat down with
Just
me.
closed a $1 million property on the river for a full 3%.
Wow, that's
Good
30,
for
30
her.
grand, guys.
Yep, she did.
So this stuff absolutely works, but you have to stay committed to it. You have to have your time blocking set up. Like this afternoon, don't try and reach me because I got 21 follow-ups to do. And that's the most important part of my day. I'm going to shoot my Friday video. My newsletter is already put together. I just got to put the video in it. I have everything set up to email that out to about 1,000 clients. That happens Friday at 4 o'clock, like clockwork it happens. And that's the commitment that you really need to have. You need to understand that even though we're self-employed and our schedule is flexible and dynamic,
Yeah.
you got to stay committed to a schedule. And it took me a long time to learn that. I really learned that after my kids went away to college and I was no longer a soccer coach, a mountain bike coach on the parent club, and driving them all around because they didn't have a driver's license and all that. Girls are off to college. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and make this happen. And it absolutely works, you guys. Let's get back to the subject at hand because we tend to get off on these tangents. I showed you how to do a multi-property, sold property. So we can go in and do a sold property. Let's go with a zip code in this case. We'll go 95678. It is Roseville. And we're going to go with single family. And in this case, we're going to go a price range. Give me a price range, Steve.
Let's go up to, let's go 400 to 700.
400 to 700, and maybe it is 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. And maybe it has a pool. Yeah. We won't worry about bedroom, bathroom count or any of that.
You might find some pools in that group of properties.
And in this case, I'm going to set the view count to never, so they never have to register.
So they just get to use your system.
That's right. And so I'm going to generate this link. Oh, wait a minute. I need to turn this off.
Get once the location again.
Yeah, I see that.
It didn't capture the email or the zip code.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. And so now we're going to take a look at this. So we'll go back over here. We'll paste this in.
It's always good to test your link, you guys, to see what the consumer's looking at.
Okay, so this came up with 11 results for 95678. How do we use this to convert? How do we use this to take a prospect and convert it into a lead? Well, what I'm doing with this is if I have someone that's kind of interested in selling their house, I'm giving them closed sales. I'm saying, hey, in 95678 Roseville, for properties with same characteristics as yours with a pool, here's the recent closings.
Well, think about if you just did this 2 or 3 times a week, what kind of response that would happen over a 30, 60, 90-day period. That's a behavior, you guys. Using the system with proper behaviors creates people that inbound interest. So the sold property feature is kind of a new feature, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And it's really focused towards those listing leads that you're trying to convert. And what I see this as being very helpful is saying, look, I created this page for you so that you can keep track on what the current sales are in your neighborhood with your home.
So now when a customer clicks on the link, you'll be able to see that on your dashboard.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. The
So
activity shows up.
what you just realized, you guys, is in the event someone engages with something that you put out there, you now can see that engagement, and that machine learning picks up and now puts that person in a queue for you to actually communicate with, call, text. But make no mistake, it's doing some of that already for you to keep that nurturing going.
Yeah, but you guys, these are great tools to be able to convert. So in the past week, I've had 6 potential buyers have activity from either looking at my weekly email or interacting with the Bull Trail CRM. And with those, I'm following up with phone calls, understanding why they're looking at this information, and then sending out the appropriate type of squeeze page. And so within that space, let's get back to it. We have single property squeeze pages, which is the same as we'll just click on one of these. It's this exact same thing right here, just that digitally branded page. It's a beautiful home.
Yeah, so for example,
Close the lock.
you had somebody that was looking for this exact type of property. You could
Mhm.
create this squeeze page, send it to them and say, hey, check this property
That's
out.
right. And you do it right here in the single property. We have a seller squeeze page, and what this does is put together a seller report, and then we have a market report where you can go in and put in, we'll do it for 95678, and you can put it on Facebook, assign hashtags, we'll generate this link. I keep forgetting to do that. And again, we'll copy this, we'll go in, and we'll paste it in place. And so this is the market report for 95678. So if I am marketing a potential listing in 95678, here's the market report, here's the solds that we did. Actually, that's this is right here, the solds that are in there. You can really focus in on that area and give that potential listing all of the current information of the market activity. And that's really what I wanted to point it out today. When you're sitting here, you've brought the lead in. They've given you permission to market to them. Now it's up to you to decide how to market back to them without absolutely blowing up their text, their email, and calling them too much. There's a balance in there that you need to figure out. And I think that each client is different. But that's what I wanted to cover today. Again, Bold Trail Mastery, how can we convert leads is really what we're focused on. And today we focused on these squeeze pages. As a final note on this, when you're going in and creating squeeze pages, I want you to go in and realize that the listing information you get through the squeeze page is not going to be the same that you get through the MLS. So go in there, do an exercise, and do the same property search with the squeeze page, do it the same thing with the MLS, and you're going to see differences. The reason this is happening is the search criteria within Bold Trail is not as granular as what you get through the MLS. So the search results are going to be different. Keep in mind, as you do this, this is a way of converting it to have the conversation. I don't get too granular and caught up in the search results aren't exactly the same. I just know that they're not, and I'm prepared to deal with that objection when it comes. So I just want to make that as a final note. So if you need help with this, I offer help to get your KV course set up. If you're new to EXP and you want to get your database in and be able to use Bold Trail at a high level, I can get you set up with that. I also have 21 days to build a habit. So if you're an agent coming in and you already have a database and you really want to get up and running and use this platform to run your business on a daily basis, you sit with me for 21 days to build that habit.
I can attest to that because I was the first student that did that. Very effective, you guys.
That's right.
And taking you from basic understanding to applying this and using it. I mean, it's a very complex program. That's why every week we take 30 minutes to teach you one thing and how to effectively understand it. We did that with Squeeze Page. So we're going to shut this recording down now, open it up for a little bit of Q&A. And we're also going to put this on the school platform, and that link is actually in the chat. So just jump early into the chat. You'll be able to jump on. Please join as a member to school. It's free at the moment, and just enjoy it because we're really trying to teach you guys something effective in little baby bites. So you literally will go take action.